were appointed to death, for we have made a spectacle unto the world and to the angels and to men, because we are the spectacle. We are the spectacle in the sense that us coming out here proclaiming to be the children of Israel, at one time you couldn't even find it. You can find throughout, like when we always bring out the history of Israelites, we start with F.S. Cherry, I think is the earliest record. We always talk about Harriet Tubman. We talk about all of that. But that's stuff that was not common knowledge. Even in, like when we talk about ISUBK in 1969, General Muhammad made an excellent point. If you didn't know somebody from One West, you didn't know about One West like that. And then as we're coming out in the camps and being on the street is what's made us who we are publicly. Without them brothers going out in the streets, you wouldn't know about us. And so, yes, we were made, number one, we were appointed last. And if you ain't looking at the times, this is the last. And it says, we were made spectacles unto the world. But that's not a bad thing. Like, to be a spectacle means they're paying attention. So whether it was back then with Mike Epps, whether it's with this guy Will, we're being made attention. Will, you did not do a bad thing talking about us. The only bad thing you did, I'm gonna show you when we get to playing it. But I want to read a couple more verses. It says, you want to say something? We got to call. Give me 1 second. Let me see the number. All right, give me to the caller. Let's just hold on for a second. It says, we are fools for Christ's sake. So being a fool, just understand, you Israelites that's out there, when you're looked at and perceived to be a fool, we are fools for Christ's sake. When I went on No Jumper, I knew Adam. Listen, I wore the armbands on purpose. Everything that I did on No Jumper, my shirt, the shirt that I wore said Real Nigga University. Shout out to Yaradan. That's another brother make excellent shirts. My shirt said Real Nigga University. I wore that so that I could break down the word nigga. That's why I wore it. The armbands I wore. And if you ask Gadar Hard them, I told them when I put the armbands on, I said, I'm not putting them on until we sit down at the table. So I could have walked in with the armbands on, but I didn't do that. When I walked in, I sat down, and as I'm putting the armbands on, Adam is looking at me, Wack is looking at me, Tariq is looking at me. They're like, this nigga is putting armband, what? And they got spikes. What is that red? What is that? By the end of the interview, Adam says, what does that mean? I wore that on purpose. The headband said One West. As me and Wack is talking, what did Wack say? Wack said, I realized I'm gonna have to slap you. I'm gonna have to slap you Israelites. What I mean by slap you Israelites, I'm gonna get the minute marker where I talk about me and Wack's so-called conflict. And when I say I'm gonna have to slap you Israelites, when I dealt with Wack, and you can ask, you ain't gotta ask me, just ask Wack or anybody on the 100 side if this is true. When I created that One West room on the 100 side, that One West room on the 100 side wasn't just for us. That room was created as a conglomerate of different spiritual beliefs. So it wasn't even just an Israelite only thing. It was supposed to be something where Christians, were supposed to come on there. This girl Danny on there, who I believe she called herself a witch. She was on there. She was active on there. It was supposed to be Muslims. And I invited all them Israelites to come over there. All of them. Every Israelite that had a room or something like that on Clubhouse, I said, come on over. Nobody wanted to really be involved. But then when me and Wack had the conflict, those same Israelites on Clubhouse start saying, man, you can't work with them. They in gangs. They got gang mentality. They got this, they got that. And what trips me out about that particular piece right there, when you say that they have gang mentality, that they thugs, that they dish, you're not going to get through them, then what? Like, you damn near have the same mentality that this comedian Will has. To have such a negative connotation about black men and women because they grew up in a gang environment, are you not worse than the Christians that you condemn for looking at us the same exact way? So when Wax says, I realized y'all was a standalone, you know what headpiece I had on? It said One West. Ashar gave it to me. I only wore it, am I right? I only wore it because it said One West. So that as Wack is telling his story, what does he say? ISUBK One West. Everything in there was tactical and on purpose because we are the spectacle. So if we're going to be the spectacle, let's take advantage of being the spectacle. You want to make fun of us being Israelites? Let's find out if we're stupid and slow or if we're the smartest person in the room. Let's find out if we have intelligence to be able to stand with. You think Richard Spencer didn't want to sit with me because I'm dumb? If
Cross the Line Radio.